So, good afternoon, and today on Make Some Noise with Doug Jong, we have some awesome people who are keeping it real inside the Aussie music scene, and we have some real managers. And today, our topic we're discussing is pub versus virtual pubs. And as some of you may know, that the virtual pubs thing's gone off, but we've got some real people that work at real pubs, and we want to get their insight. So, I'll just drag the guests on site right now. So, here we go. There's Alex. How you going? And Deb and Brad.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Jackson and Christy. So I'll just because we're live, so anyone who's listening in, please ask some questions and they'll pop up. Oh, there's the first one already. Oh, there we go. And any questions and we'll answer them.
Good question.
So first up is Alex. If you want to tell us a little about what you do and how you do it. So here we go.
Hey guys, I'm Alex. I manage a pub in Ballina called the Shores Bay Hotel. We sit right on the waterfront, and we're always into the live music, Friday, Saturday, Sunday sort of thing. So really appreciate this sort of community. So I'd love to have a chat to you guys about all that.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. And are you allowed to, we'll come back to your background. So, and who's up next? We'll go to Deb and Brad, and I'm going to treat you independently. So maybe Brad first. Here we go.
No,
Deb first. It's ladies first. I was just teasing. I wanted to get a reaction. Okay, whoever likes to go first, go.
We're Brad and Debbie. That's Debbie. I'm Brad. We run a group on Facebook called the Pub with No Fear. Debbie started that up as soon as everything went haywire in the industry, and we're also on a duo called Distraction. And we run a lot of open mic nights as well at a lot of these venues that you're going to be talking to. Enjoy.
Awesome.
It's going to be a good chat.
Excellent. Yeah, looking forward to it. And next we have Jackson. If you want to introduce yourself there, sir.
Hey guys, Jackson Quinn. I run and own the Australian Hotel in Ballina. Large beer garden, music style venue, late night. And heavily affected by COVID-19, but big supporters of the virtual pub scene. Can't see anything wrong with it.
Awesome. And then thank you, sir, and we'll get back to you in a second. And Christy, how you going, Christy?
Hi guys, I'm Christy. I've been managing pubs on the Gold Coast for about 10 years now. Entertainment scene's just amazing. Really loving the online, finding new musos out there. Very entertaining. Pub No Fear is just great. Awesome idea what Deb and Brad have come up with. It's getting everyone involved, and it feels like you're out without being out. Just crawl straight into bed.
So that's a good point. Maybe if we were starting off with that. So I guess you're all looking at everyone who's streaming right now. And actually, if anyone else wants to stream, you can share it. Just make sure your other device is turned down. But so maybe question number one, what was your background before you got into hospitality, Alex? If you want to maybe go first.
Oh God, I went straight into hospitality I started hospitality when I was about 12. My grandparents owned a pub.
Wow.
When I was a young age, so I kind of started from there. But yeah, I started working in a pub properly when I was 18, straight out of school, and the rest is history.
Yep. And do you want to maybe elaborate on what you did, with your art and all that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, no, I studied at uni. When I finished school, I went into university, still working at the venues and stuff throughout, but I did visual arts and education at uni. So
a double degree.
Qualified art teacher. Yeah,
Awesome.
Double degree in visual arts teaching. Yeah, so that's all done, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Doing a bit of both.
Well, I think that's it. Yeah, I know, you're being shy, but Alex was just saying how awesome. And we'll come back to the other background in a minute. So, Brad and Deb, what were you doing just before you started your virtual pub? What were you doing? And actually, Deb first.
Well, as a matter of fact, Doug, we were playing music. we were traveling around every weekend. We've been doing that now for how long? 6 years.
6 years together, yeah.
Together, and So and every weekend, of course, it's a pretty big deal for all of a sudden to be ripped out from under your feet. And it's really lucky that we love each other, because otherwise we probably would have killed each other by now. I often wonder about the couples. What? So, oh, bleep. Sorry.
She'll end up in Brad's trash can.
Your turn.
Brad?
What were we doing? We were obviously driving around playing live shows in pubs.
We
all
were
over the place.
hosting a Ballina Idol competition.
Yep.
At the Aussie.
At the Aussie Hotel at Jackson's Pub.
Yeah.
So we had a Ballina Idol competition going there, which was basically just an extension of our open mics. Really turned into a competition. But yeah, it was a fantastic event until it got shut down. We got a couple of heats into it, and it was looking like being really exciting. And it's going to resume, Jackson.
Yeah.
It's going to resume when everything goes back to normal. Yeah, and we do open mics we do open mic nights at Alex's venue as well, at Shores Bay. And we used to also work with Christy up at the Palm Beach Hotel. We open mics up there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
There's one more as well. We've also picked up at the only Saturday night open mic that I know of at the Plateau Sports in Austinville, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was going on.
That was going well too.
Really good.
Oh, excellent. Okay, and then maybe Christy, do you want to maybe say what you were doing just before this whole COVID situation? Maybe what venue you're at and, what kind of trade you're doing?
Yeah, well, I was working. Yeah, I was at two pubs just before it all happened, 7 days a week, trying to get a few dollars, and just 24 hours notice. Didn't really give us much time to sort out any other sort of plans that we had, and I've also got like beauty and all that, but same thing there.
Okay. It's
it's still everything. Now
we are getting a little audio issue. Yeah, you're breaking up there, so I don't know if there's a better internet connection near you, but otherwise we'll just be patient for Christy. And over to Jackson. So what was your background before hospitality?
It was kind of always in my blood. My father got me into it. He was running a club, and I started there as my first job, and obviously didn't want to work with my father my whole life, and here I am working back with my father now. I worked on the supply side of the fence for 11 or so years at a large brewery. So I was in the on-premise still every day, working with large publicans and doing their supply deals and how to bring beer to life in venues, really, and saw the good operators, and obviously you see the shit operators as well. So I got to see all forms of it and see what works and what doesn't work, and then applied that to what I do now.
So you're the proprietor at a venue, is that correct?
Yes.
You own it? Yeah. And then is it right to maybe unpack what you just said, bring beer to life? What does that mean?
How long you got?
Just maybe the short version.
Yeah, short version. So obviously the beer market now is a lot different to what it was 30 years ago, where you only had two selections. Now Australia and America, we kind of lead the way with craft beer and everything there, and how to get your brands in front of the punters instead of the other brands, really. So promotions wise, price points, positions on the taps, all that type of stuff. So working with Republicans on how to do that.
I did not know that was actually a thing, that where the beer is on the tap. I didn't know that was a thing.
Look at a big bar, like a really big pub or one that you go to, and usually the first 4 or 5 near the till where the bar staff stand will be the prime spot, and big breweries pay a lot of money for that.
Wow, I did not know that. There you go. Okay, and then
there's heaps to it.
Oh wow, I've just learned something. That's amazing. I had no idea that beer taps actually paid. I mean, someone paid for beers. Actually, I think I need another one myself. Anyway. Okay, so with all of you now, then with virtual pubs, because at the moment I know that Brad and Deb are running one, and there's some other ones out there. So what's your take on the virtual pub, maybe Alex? And if anyone else has got something, please chime in as we go as well. So Alex, what do you think about virtual pubs?
Oh, I think it's so good. You guys have taken on, you've taken something that especially I would never have thought to do, having live music. I've seen people live stream music, obviously, but having something where people can come in and share it together like that, you've created such a community, and I think it's so good. And you can share it it's not just having people in one venue. You can share it across the world all at the same time. I think it's really, really cool. You guys have done such a good job.
Yeah, so you're endorsing it. Yeah, beer o'clock. Oh, there we go.
100%, yeah. Yeah, 100%. No, it's good to be able to share people that can't come into the pubs anymore and everything. We all get to share in the same experience together. I think it's great.
Yep, and
We,
we'll come.
if I can just jump in, we actually
Yeah.
did a lot of research with the whole APRA thing when we first started doing this, and there was a lot of emails bouncing backwards and forth between all of us, and
Yep.
as well as APRA, and we're geo-locked to Australia now and New Zealand. So at first I was sharing to the USA. When I found out that, I stopped doing it because the APRA rules are different overseas. So we can only stick to New Zealand and Australia, which is cool. They're allowed to live
wow.
stream
Yeah, it's a
live
large,
to the USA or to England, but at the end of that live video, it has to be deleted.
Wow.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's good learning the ins and outs. Okay, and we will. Do you have anything to add there, Brad, on the same thing?
No, not really.
Okay,
I think
cool.
just to add to that, Facebook basically, yeah, covering our fees while we're doing it, just like the venue covers our fees throughout the rest of the year,
Cool.
covering the fees, original artists and songs. Yeah.
And maybe Christy, you want to maybe answer this question? It says, could the venues become multi-purpose venues? Example, art parties. I guess that's the multifunction.
Yeah, we've
center.
we've done a few art parties, like murals and stuff at Palm Beach, and they did some live spray painting, had some DJs there. It was pretty cool atmosphere. Good for all ages as well.
Right. Okay. Cool. And getting back to the
just chiming in there too. Sorry, with the
go
art
for
parties and everything. I was working with a venue called Pino Picasso, and they do the paint and sip classes. So we had a few of those at the venue as well. I don't know whether we can actually do that now, because I know Pino Picasso have all gone online. You can't obviously be in the same room together at the moment, but they're doing online classes too. It's a way you could combine that sort of stuff if you wanted to. But yeah, we've done that sort of thing before at the pub.
Oh, cool. I guess alcohol and art sort of go hand in hand, right? And what do you think about that, Jackson?
100%. Liquid confidence.
Makes you paint better, I heard. So, no, I'm all for it. I think my main call out was from the start that there was the way to donate. I think that was key. Like musos are a key to my business. A day wouldn't go past where I don't get a phone call who's playing on the weekend or whatever. Or
that's awesome
like
to hear.
So,
that's awesome to hear.
So that was the key to it all for me. Like we'd all seen the streaming and Keith Urban doing his thing and the rest of it, but the fact that these guys could still get $1 and get looked after was what was key for me.
Well, okay, awesome. And maybe in finishing up the whole virtual pub, Deb and Brad, or maybe Brad first. So what made you actually start this?
It actually wasn't me, Doug. I have to confess, it was Debbie. I was in meltdown phase.
He was sitting in the backyard in the corner going,
Oh,
It takes a long time. As you know, Doug, it takes a long time. It's 6 months worth of gigs, doesn't it? A long time to get together 6 months worth of gigs, and to watch him go out the window.
what could I do to help him?
So,
I know. I'll do this. Whoa.
not that. You won't do that. That's
Nearly lost the tablet there. Jeez. Here we go. We're back.
animation.
and so I should ask
Definitely.
Deb then, what inspired you to do it, Deb?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, that was the first thought was Brad, something to make her focus on. That was, because he was in meltdown mode. And I thought, well, we're going to need to practice anyway, and we're going to be here doing it anyway. So let's step into the next stage and go live and see if we can talk everybody else into doing it. And if we can get tipped in some way, that's where the PayPal thing come into it. Then obviously that we're not saying that people should tip this. It's just there if they want to, and it's a good idea. And I didn't know whether it would go as well as it did, especially with covers. You know,
Yep.
I thought, you know, with Pan Butter in the original lounge, maybe that's, you know, people will be more interested in originals. But anyway, here we are.
We'll see what
It's
happens.
working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we might go backwards then. So, because Jackson, you're a proprietor, with what's happened, has that are you guys on the ropes? You know, are you still fighting fit? Like, have you changed your business model to get income other ways?
Oh, absolutely, Doug. I've sworn plenty of times about this, but mate, I only bought the pub in December, so we're only
Wow! Wow!
just getting to my feet, and I'd met Alex before, and she'd given me some great ideas on the community and the town, and obviously linking in with Deb and Brad. I feel that week that had happened, we were just to our feet. Like, we had a record week in March across all levels, food, music, everything, like people coming through the door. And then it was like the perfect storm. The lawyer rang and said, hey, get ready. And then, so we did adapt. We've adapted quickly, but we had a accommodation channel, so we went into that and doubled down with specials and things like that to get people to stay longer. But as the virus progressed, it got harder and harder because there was restrictions on accommodation. You couldn't have people in a room for a certain amount of days, and then you couldn't clean those rooms for 2 days, so it just wasn't worth the while. So now we do takeaway food and booze, and we're doubling down with some other measures next week, which is pretty exciting, but we're still working through it all, and it's been a bit of a slow burn. Instead of sinking all your eggs into one thing, we're just kind of been, hey, what does the community want? Tell us what you feel, and then we kind of go that path.
Yeah, I think that's really, really cool, man. And I'm sorry to hear that you're only 12 weeks in and all this unfolded. But that's amazing. You're still there, man, fighting the fight. That's sensational. I think wow. Sorry. You go.
No, I'm not the biggest fan of our government, and I don't know. I won't get into that. But mate, without some of the surplus and the things that have happened around there, we would have been out. We would have been gone.
Wow. So you're just hanging in there. So, and we'll get your details at the end so people can, come and support you. That's amazing, man. What a story. Wow. And Christy, because you're at the Sunshine Coast, right?
No, I'm back on the Gold Coast now.
Went
up there for a little bit.
Yay!
Hey, cool.
Let's have you back, Christy.
Yeah.
And so with the venues that you work at, Christy, what? You go. You can go.
No.
Sorry, there's
what
a delay.
What are you going to say? What? Well, yeah.
I was just going to say, what are you guys doing differently to get?
Sorry.
I'm not speaking. You go. No.
My delay. I'm a bit slower than the rest. So I was currently in Wax's in Surface and a Hope Island Tavern. So we just got the 24-hour and pretty much the notice to the final on that Sunday, and pretty much had to send back all the kegs, all the stock, food. We just pretty much, there would have been so much wastage with it all. And then once we open again, just getting all that back's going to be a full-time job as well. Getting the whole pub ready to go again. It'll be like opening for the first time again.
And is there any other ways of business that you changed? Are you trying to get an income from
none at
that?
all. Not at any of the other pubs, nah. They're pretty much just shut down, total.
Wow. Okay, and then we're over to Alex. So, Alex, this is good that you consulted with Jackson when he was buying a pub, so you probably know a lot. So, what's changed for you?
Oh no, we've shut down completely as well. There's not much we could have done. We did the best we could when the legislation started coming out. The weekend before the Monday when we had to shut. We spent the whole weekend rearranging the place, making sure there was enough space between tables, and we were getting all this stuff done, trying to comply with everything they gave to us. And then Sunday evening they said, no, everyone's got to shut by 12 o'clock tomorrow. It was just such a big shock. We spent all this time trying to do what we could to comply with everything, but in the end it just ended up happening anyway. But yeah, no, we've shut down completely and just trying to figure out what the next move is after it all goes back to normal. God knows when, but when it comes back to normal, what we're going to do, and just be prepared for that.
There's a question there for you. Have bottle shop sales increased, Alex?
Massively.
Well, we don't have a separate bottle shop. We have we just do takeaways through our bar, so we haven't been able to even stay open for takeaways, unfortunately.
Oh,
I know that Aussie has, but we couldn't do that sort of stuff. We've been actually Christy said before, we've been giving our kegs back, the full kegs, to the respective companies, but with the half-empty kegs, I know Brendan's been selling them to his friends, so he's making back like little bits at a time, sort of thing. But other than that, we can't actually sell takeaway to the public.
and if we
I
go
drank
to
mine.
We did get rid of two of our. We did get rid of a few of our cartons. The ones that we couldn't give back because of the expiry dates and everything. We've been selling them to local bottle shops. There's
That's a
one
good
that's
idea.
not far from us. So they get the benefit. We get our money back. Like, we're not making money off them, but we're not wasting them, sort of thing. So that's been really good. We can give back to the local places that need them, like not Dan Murphy's or anything, but there's a locally owned bottle shop around the corner, and so we've tried to help them out, and they've been helping us out. So that's been really good.
I bet the ghost is having a field day. The Shoresy ghost is having a field day.
Yeah. Shoresy ghost. She gets a place to herself, old Sarah.
oh,
She set up a camera in there, Alex.
It's already been done. It's on YouTube.
See what
And, so Christy, is your bottle shop sales increased?
Yeah, all the bottle shops, of course. Me alone, I reckon I've spent that much money.
Right. Okay. This is a little. It's a bit weird. That's awkward waiting for the laugh, but anyway, that's cool. Got it down pat. Okay, so the.
I know. I look like.
Moving forward, then.
Bring back.
Moving forward with live music, then I think Jackson said this before that you were actually engaging like open mics. Did you have bands there as well?
Yeah, we did live music Thursday, Friday, and a double on Saturday. Some weekends, yeah.
Oh wow, that's sensational. So
Actually,
with the
most
live
Saturdays it was a double.
Oh wow, that's sensational. And with moving forward, like after this, is anyone going to be doing home delivery? That's a good question.
Beat me to it. That's what we're doing from Monday.
Wow, Christy.
Yeah.
I'll wait for it.
No.
Okay. And Alex?
No.
No, we can't do it.
Okay. So, and what's the name of your hotel, Jackson?
The Australian.
Yeah. And in which town is it in?
In Ballina. So we'll only home deliver within the postcode, and we're going to do certain happy hours, so you can pre-order during the day, and that'll be food and booze, and then we'll kind of do a happy hour between 5 and 7 where we will deliver your food and grog at the same time.
Oh wow, that's sensational. Have you seen the drones? I've seen a coffee shop use drones.
Yeah, I have seen that, yeah.
Where they fly over and you have to untie it. Has anyone seen that?
Yeah, I don't know how I could put a case of beer in one. Like, a case of beer is about 15 kilos. So.
Right. Okay.
Helicopter. Let's get a
Helicopter, yeah.
So if we go to Brad and Deb. So Deb, with so how many weeks you got the virtual pub open for now? How many weeks?
We started it on the. Hold on, I just got to go to the trusty diary.
Ah.
The 24th, Tuesday the 24th was the first day we created it.
In March.
In March. And a week later, the book looked like this. You see that?
That's
Not really.
amazing.
Not really.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's full.
Full.
it's full.
And it's
Oh,
been like that.
sensational.
We're just about to hit 4,000 members. I think we're about 15 people away from 4,000 members now. It's going about 1,000 members a week.
I've just got to approve someone who's going to go live. Hold on, I'll be right back.
So Brad, and that's sensational. So 24th of March, it's only been opened, just on, what month are we in now?
Yeah.
Well,
April?
close to a month.
Actually, I just want to point out that yesterday, was it Fiona O'Shea sent us a link for Countdown. The Countdown, obviously, with Molly Meldrum, that group began, and I don't know when it began, but anyway, it actually closed in 1987, which was the year I left year 10 high school. Wow. And they have 8.8K members. So how old is Countdown? Like, and you know, within 4 weeks we have half their amount.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's good.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, eh?
So the question I have maybe for Brad then is, so have you seen some new ingenuity, you know, people being creative in actually doing their live streams?
Oh, definitely. People have really stepped up their game. I think we need to as well, especially when you say, well, people like yourself, Doug, you've got a fantastic presentation on your page. Rob Rhodes, how good is his? But then we've had other people.
Rob Rhodes,
there's a guy, I'm trying to think of his name now. It was Benny Williams was on during the week, and he was in I think it must have been his home studio. He had a fish tank right along the side of the room. Brilliant backdrops. We had Shawnee Williams on from The Voice, and he set himself up in his garden under an aviary with all fairy lights and beautiful hanging baskets.
He borrowed the plants, though, I believe, from all of his friends and family.
Well, here he does that with the green. But, it was good. The presentation has been fantastic, and people are stepping it up as they see other people. Bam Duo are another one that they've got all their sponsors listed on their online stream. Carl Peters has got a scroll going through along the bottom of his stream with his PayPal and all his contact details to book in, that sort of thing. So people are really stepping up.
I think we stepped it up this week too with the giant big Australian hotel banner underneath our stage.
That helped.
Yeah, that's good. Okay,
and better than a pot plant.
And so is that cool? Any other ideas that you've seen that have been really, really awesome? Maybe Deb?
Oh, sorry. What?
So have you seen any other cool ideas?
You know what, to tell you the truth, I have not moved my head out of this book, and I've been constantly doing events and one thing after another and proving people and allowing things to happen. I only just today, the first time in a month, was I able to get every load of washing that's been waiting for me done. Okay, Brad is probably more than one to answer that. You see things coming and going, and you're like looking around.
Yeah, well, you watch all the shows with me, but there is software out there, I think, that people are grabbing a hold of that's helping with their presentations, and also different camera angles. And Carl Peters again, and his bank from the ground have got 3 different camera angles. So the people are stepping it up. There's definitely a lot of fresh stuff.
And there's a question there. There's a question there for you, Deb. Do regular people listen, or just other musos that are members of the group? How to reach the general public? So I guess that's a good question for everybody. So did you want to, or I'll come back to Brad and Deb no, you go. Go.
Okay, I don't believe that there are 4,000 people in our group that are all musicians. A lot of them are just general public, and they say that to me when they're joining, because one of the questions is, are you a muso or not? You know, so we know it's actually quite. I think it's pretty even. Really, yeah. But I have noticed that a lot of the people that watch the shows are musos.
Yeah.
So that is a thing. I don't know how we're going to attract those other people who are not coming and watch. Anyway.
Deb, I'll chime in there. I don't always watch. Sometimes we just have it on the iPod dock, just playing, so we're not watching the whole time. Like we'll just be sitting there having a drink, having a chat,
hey, Veronica.
Whatever the kid.
Yeah.
You know, just chilling out, and it's like listening to a live gig at a pub. Like you're not watching the whole time. You often you like the music in the background. And you're catching up for mate.
Yeah. I think
I
like that.
We're the same. Like we can't literally sit there and watch every single thing either. But we turn it on and we crank it through our subs, and it's loud, and everyone in the neighbourhood can hear it. And we just go about our business doing the rest of our stuff that we've got to do.
I think.
Since we've been home, we've been louder than we've ever been.
I must say too, I think that, you know, the nature of, you know, the invention of the playback list, right? The playlist, I should say, playback list. You know, is you select the music that you want to hear, but that's the act of multitasking. If you're doing something else, the dishes, any other daily routines, ironing or whatever. So I think by people actually playing an hour and doing what Deb and Brad's done, I think that's sort of brought back the purpose of listening to one album, like maybe even listening to an album, really, if you listen to an original artist for an hour, but actually listening to one artist for an hour, it's coming back, right? Because
I
love that.
Yeah, and maybe
I would
Alex.
rather listen to everybody singing than put the radio on any day. Number one reason for that is I don't like the new music today. Shh, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Anyway,
So Alex, what do you think of that? You know, with the whole streaming thing and having an hour, like, what do you do? I think I've lost my train
Oh
of thought now
yeah,
because I'm
like
thinking.
sorry, Doug.
yeah, no, I'm similar to
That's all
Jackson.
right.
I like just having it on in the background. Like sometimes I'll sit there and watch. Like I've got friends that stream and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes I'll sit there and watch, but most of the time I'll just have it on in the background, and that's kind of nice. It does make you kind of feel like you're in that sort of atmosphere. Like even if you're just with your housemates or something, at least you've got like something going on, and you can appreciate what they're doing, like in the background, and
Hey, Richard.
it's that kind of atmosphere. It's just nice having it on.
Yeah, oh, that's good. And Christy, we haven't heard from you for a while. What do you think about that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And then a few of my mates pop up every now and then, and you're like, oh, it's such and such, or you're like, I know that voice. It's pretty good. And a lot of the musos have a real large following as well. So that's obviously word of mouth that we need to get out there a bit more as well for the other guys that are missing out on it. But I mean, it's growing bigger and bigger every day. So
And I think that you said something very good there is that the most of musicians, honing their craft, staying connected with their audience, they have an audience too, right? And they're split between the same, well, they're not really split, we're sharing the same people that go to your pubs, right? So they need to keep it engaged.
yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, and they will, like, just in general, they'll follow, like Jackson said before, like people do call up and they want to know what musos are on, and they'll follow them all around the Gold Coast, if they really like someone. So if they can see it right on at home, they're loving it.
Yeah, right. And so I think Jackson might be getting another beer. So we'll come back to him. So Alex, we'll come back to Jackson. There we got it. So Jackson, can you maybe confess if you've been every now and then as you're scouting, like, are you scouting for new talent? Is that such a thing?
Mate, I'll be honest, new to the area, like obviously from Sydney, I didn't know any musos, so it's a very strong word of mouth piece. So obviously met Brad and Deb early in the ownership of it, and went down that path. Hey, who's good, who's not, who we watch out for, blah 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 blah, and we've haven't had a wrong steer really. So I consider the bands that I do promote are all solid, and a lot of them are just local guys. They have day jobs as well, and extremely talented. We've got a young girl that actually works at the hotel, well, was working at the hotel that Brad and Deb introduced us to, and she's one of the most amazing talents I've ever seen. And for someone of such a young age, I'm just like blown away each time she plays. And, yeah, she's so good.
We love Hayley. She's great.
Yeah, Hayley's epic.
Oh wow! Here's a bit of a point. Maybe Jackson can answer. So with us playing every weekend, I've always struggled to see other acts. It's been great to see the acts I've wanted to see. So now I know who to make an effort to go and see live. Okay, so that's Ben, because Ben's a great muso too. So
he is.
I guess that's for musos checking out other musos. You can actually check in and learn from the others.
Yeah.
And here's a question, maybe, Christy, do you want to go first? What type of music is popular at your venue? Christy.
Obviously your covers. I mean, I like hip hop, but can't really play too much hip hop around. But yeah, just yeah, it's just your covers pretty much. Everyone knows they can have a sing along. They can have a sing along.
Okay, and Alex.
Oh well, we have a bit of a mix at the moment because our licensee Brendan, he's got a lot of regular bands he likes to keep bringing back, which are great, and they go really well with the crowd because all of our locals really know which bands they like, and they're really always come back to see. And then I like to throw in there some, because we share the bookings sort of a little bit. So he has these regular bands that always bring a good crowd, and then I try and bring in just bits and pieces. We've had a couple of people come down from the Gold Coast, and Ben White, who commented before, Follow the Fox. We had them booked for a couple of times this year. I think unfortunately we haven't been able to get them to play yet because of all this. But we've been getting some new bands. We've got a bit of a mix, but Generally, I always like to say to the bands we like a good mix of covers and originals because you do want to get them all the crowd involved with some good covers and songs that everyone knows. But I like to tell them, you really got to. I like to encourage them to play their own music too. You got to do that for sure.
Is that okay to answer that question? Haley who?
Yeah, Haley. Haylee is her name. Grace. Haley Grace.
Okay.
You can find her on Facebook. Haley Grace.
She's going to be performing on our page, isn't she?
She will be back again on.
So click through the diary. She was just on the other day.
Haley will be 4:30 on Friday afternoon for an hour.
This Friday afternoon, 4:30. If you want to see Haley.
Oh wow! Well, it's funny.
You won't want to miss it.
All right, cool. And I like how you said, Alex. I keep pointing the wrong way. It's so confusing. Everyone try and point to the other person. It's really weird. Yeah. Yeah. So the yeah. There we go. Cheers. Yeah, Jackson. So I really like how you said, Alex, having original music, because I actually had some gigs booked at Christie's venue, because I haven't actually met you in person yet, Christy, or maybe I have, but I can't remember. No, I don't think so.
No, you would remember. Oh. You would remember.
Oh.
You would definitely remember.
Oh, actually, my brother's calling. My brother's calling, but I better sort him out later. So, checking out other acts is one of the things you're doing. So, can I ask you, maybe Jackson go first. So, I'm a brand new act. You're a manager, owner of a venue. What do you want to see from me being a new act on the scene? Do you want to see clips online? Do you want to see me in person? Like, does that actually still matter if I just rock up at your venue? Yeah, just asking you.
Definitely the clips online is key. I'm a bit of the old school presentation if you want to meet me face to face, but that doesn't show your talent, what you'd be like on the stage. But the live clip can show the crowd interaction, how you actually perform under pressure. Performing in front of a one-on-one could be different in front of 100 people. So when we've been sold a few acts, of hefty price range, and whenever we've been sold those, we check them out online first before we even look at entertaining the idea, just to see what type of crowd it is first. Is it a high energy, could be a potentially violent crowd, or is it a good crowd that's spending money, having
drinking money,
having the time in the hotel, that type of vibe, instead of we've gone away from a bit more of the high energy. So that's where the covers is a real safe bet. But yeah, I'd definitely be checking out your profile first.
It's interesting what you just said. You're from the act, you are engaged with the audience they draw, not the other way around.
Yeah, that can be two sides to it, right? Like our hotel had a reputation, so we're trying to go away from that. And definitely we're trying to promote more of a fun environment instead of the high energy where, lots of police attention, loud noise, and all the things that go with that. Which
right.
We all know what that is. But.
Yeah. Okay. And Christy, I know there's a delay. I'm going to say all my sentences with no stopping until I get my whole idea out. So what do you look for when you're actually booking a brand new act? If I was an act, what do you need to see from me to get into your venue?
Well, I like meeting someone one-on-one more than a clip, because it can be so edited and whatnot. They come in, you get a vibe of what sort of person they are, and you can normally tell where they would draw the crowd in, how they react by just talking one-on-one with them as well, which is always good. It's all about people's skills. But and just obviously then have listen to them, and then go online and whatnot. But you can normally just tell.
Okay. And Alex, what would you want to see from me if I wanted to get a gig at your venue?
Well, pretty similar to what Jackson said. I definitely need to see clips from other venues. It's nice to see videos of you in your recording studio too, but I need to see what you like in the venue with the crowd and all that sort of stuff.
With the double neck guitar.
What kind of what kind of music? Yeah, one of those.
That's true story actually.
When people come to see me, people come in to see me at the pub and try and book in a gig right there, but I can't actually see what they're like unless they actually send me video clips. So even like to get, even something nice would be if you have a phone number of another venue you've played at before. Like even I could speak to them if I need to, sort of thing.
Ah,
See what they think of you, if they have any recommendations, or like And I like to have a talk to you and see what kind of music you'd like to play as well. Like, do you want to play originals, or do you want to just play covers, or like what do you want to do as well? It's nice to have a conversation. But yeah, video clips is a really good one.
wow. And there's a story. Actually, before I read Ben's point, I just want to acknowledge what you just said there, Alex, is that it's old school. You actually talk to other venue owners, if someone give you a referral, that's word of mouth is probably the most powerful yet underrated thing in the world, right? Because like when people go to get a haircut,
For
not
example,
that I get haircuts,
like
but
we just started doing drag shows at the pub as well. We've done 2 so far, and I know Brendan, the licensee, he's a bit more old school and he wasn't quite sure about it, but I think one of the things that really ticked him over was we got to speak to one of the venues in Casino. They had just had one of the drag shows at their venue like a few months before that, and I think the turning point for him was being able to speak to the manager from them and hearing their point of view. They said no, it was a great night. Like he wasn't really expecting that response. It was really good to talk to the other venue manager and see what like their honest opinion from it.
And
that's great, Alex, because they contacted me as well. So now you've just given a referral.
There you go. Oh, well, just put.
Let's make a good drag queen. We should dress him up.
Here's a point from. Sorry, Christy, it's cut your head off. 2 years ago, Beach Hotel. Beach Hotel in Byron ignored my emails, clips, etc. for 6 months. He took me going in for a visit and got the manager to sit down and watch a clip, and we just clicked. He booked us every 7 weeks since. I like to go in person where I can, worked every time. And I must say, for me as an artist, I mean, some of you, some of you seen, when I play guitar, it's out there. I'm not talking myself up, but I really go to town. But that's what I love to do. I mean, I've been around the world doing that. But when I'm selling my covers act or whatever, I don't say, hey, come and check my guitar playing out or whatever. But I don't know, it's a bit hard to sell. How do I say, the entertainment value? Yes, I can do the, the old thing between product and service, right? I mean, you're all in business. The product is, yes, you do your covers, cool, or you do whatever music you do. That's the product. But the service is, the people skills, the entertaining, understanding why you're there. So engaging the audience to dance or be engaged. It's a two-way conversation, play requests. And, but I just find that even on video, sometimes it doesn't translate because, I remember playing in Mount Isa on Australia Day and the whole place was just, erupting with all the things I do. But did I have a camera that day? No. But, but anyway, I just find it a little bit difficult. We've got some people here with some, maybe Jackson can go first. So Jackson, I'm coming for a visit soon. There you go. Excellent. Old school. And here's another point. There are a lot of great acts, new acts that I've never seen before, which is great. However, it seems that the best at this online things are also the ones that turn into a good professional live show in the real world. That may be true. What do you think about that, Jackson? How seriously are you taking the live streams?
Like I said, mate, I don't watch them all the time. I'm still working ridiculous hours, but I do have it on in the background, so I do listen. So it might be better answered by someone else. But from what I've seen from Hayley, who I love her live interaction, as well as Brad and Deb and a few of the other guys that do play locally at my joint, you can definitely see the professionals versus, the guys that haven't had as much experience.
Okay. Christy, what do you think about that? Are you still looking for new acts? Christy?
Yeah, I'm always looking for new acts. You can never get enough of new music. And yeah, it is obviously hard when someone first wants to get into the pub scene and whatnot. But you've just got to keep trying, and the more you can only just keep trying until you know them that much. They're going to give you a gig anyway. But there's nights like we do jam nights everywhere. That's a good foot in the door. And then yeah, just go from there. Open mic nights, jam nights. Someone catches you and they like you, and word gets around. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl, he's cool. So maybe we throw it back to Deb and Brad there, because you guys actually run open mics, and so have you seen a lot of talent that needs helping with the other side of the coin, which is the business side, to promote themselves?
Oh, most people do. If they're not already a professional and they're already doing it, then everyone needs a little bit of help. And there's nothing, we love helping everyone. That's the thing. Yeah, I get off on it anyway.
There's a lot in this industry that you can't pick up just by yourself.
No.
And you pick it up over, as you know, Doug, over like 20 years doing it. So if you can pass that information on to someone who's young open micers that has potential, then it's a really nice, it's a nice feeling to be able to do that.
And here's a comment.
Because it can be so easy to lose faith and get disheartened. You know, there's so many people out there willing to rip your head off at first chance. So, like the kids, they only have to be told once to feel like crap, and then you might never see them again.
Right.
So I'll always get behind the kids. And when I say kids, I'm talking like, anywhere under the age of 30.
Alex, that's you. So I've got a comment here. So maybe if Brad might want to go to this one first. So this is from the other side of the coin, to the customer. I've been searching for acts to play my wedding, and it's been amazing to watch all the acts to see what's out there. We have chosen Heidi and Scott not only for their amazing talent but their personality. So there's a good point for every muso watching. You don't know who's watching. So there's people with, real customers with real events happening that you can engage. So what do you say to that, Brad? Any advice about people?
Well, first of all, congratulations on that person getting married, and congratulations to Chip and Heidi and Scott. They're new associates of ours, and we've only known them since they've been performing on the Pub with No Fear, but they're really good. Look, I've completely lost my train of thought. I had something really intelligent to say then.
Yeah.
But because I got lost in congratulating them on choosing Heidi and Scott.
Okay.
So where was I going there?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Just let me know.
What's the question?
So just advice, because you guys used to run, or maybe you will again in the future, run open mics, and technically you're running a virtual open mic. Do you come across people who need coaxing or a helping hand to get to the next level?
Well, what we're trying to do at the moment, particularly over the Thursday through Sunday time slots, is just put on for our musos.
Yeah.
So really, a lot of those people, pardon the language, have their shit together, which is good for us. But then throughout the rest of the week, as we said, we like to help everyone out. Yeah, good on you, Toe. That's not a bad idea. But now I've lost my train of thought again. Yeah, we do like to help people out.
Good on you,
So throughout the rest of the week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Debbie likes to help the kids out a lot. So Tuesday's pretty much a kids' day, and open mic day on the Pub with No Fear. So it is opened up for the amateurs as well. And then we can help them out. We do give them a fair bit of coaching.
Okay, cool.
Is up a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Okay, so
maybe
maybe...
we mean to do a tutorial, actually, because I think I've explained myself about 1,600 times now exactly the same way.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
That's the next thing coming.
And maybe, Christy, if you want to go first. When a band plays at your venue, do you this is like old school, this is what I actually do. Every time I finish a gig, I find out whoever the manager is, obviously at the beginning of the night, and I always go and I say, thanks for having us, right? I actually showing gratitude, right? Yeah. So, Christy, what do you think about that? Or does it not matter that anyone comes and says hello? You'd rather hear hip hop?
Oh, no. Absolutely. I want to know. I obviously want to know who's in my venue. And, I'm going to shout them a few beers or, make them feel welcome. And then, I want to say thanks for I want to give them a big thank you for the night and whatnot. It's very important. It's the same as customers or your staff. Thank you goes such a long way.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thanks, Marshall. Okay, and Jackson, what do you think of that old school where there's an actual physical sign-off from the artist that you have in the house?
Oh, mate, 110%. But it goes a bit further, right? Like, not to be critical, but you can also give feedback, and you can receive feedback as well. Like,
yeah, that was my next point. You read my mind.
How many musos have we heard where they've had a dickhead rip the mic, or just be a tool in the venue, and you might be counting the money somewhere else or somewhere else in the venue, and you mightn't see it, but then the music can go, hey, this guy was an absolute nightmare and ruined my night. And then it can go vice versa. I've had bands trash my venue, like putting cigarettes out on the stage, on carpet, doing things like that, and you're unaware of it because you're running a venue. So you can have that 5 minutes and say, hey man, thanks for coming by. Here's your money. Love the gig, but hey, next time you're not smoke on stage, or just have that 2 minutes with them.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you went to that. So, Alex, old school hospitality. Someone comes in close, after a service, they come and do their gig. Do you like it, or does it matter?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. It's what you guys have all said. It's just good to touch base with them and see how they felt about the gig, and see how you and maybe even the crowd felt about it. Like, I know I'd get people all the time after gigs coming up and saying, oh, that person was great, can we get them back again? Or someone might say, oh, maybe they're not suited. I wasn't a big fan of that, maybe not suited to here, or like talking to them and seeing how they felt about the gig and how you felt about it. And sometimes you even book in on the spot again if you really, really loved it, and sometimes
Awesome.
you say, all right, we'll talk to you next week. But no, yeah, it's feedback and just touching base and making sure that they had a good night and making sure they're happy with everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wesley just pointed a point there. Also talking to the staff as well as asking what they thought of the show. So before I get to, unless Deb and Brad has got anything to add, because I've got another question. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I want to add this. These three people here that we've got in this little room with us are three of the best venue managers and owners we've ever come across in our life. I had to get that in. There you go.
And we usually end up stuck for at least an hour at the end having a few beers. So that's great. Good to sit and have a chat.
Yeah, we bought a breathalyzer so we can do it safely.
Yeah, we did.
Oh. So here's a music.
I slept out there and everything.
Yeah. Rock and roll. So
rock and roll.
a muso question. Maybe Jackson, you want to go first. So there's a band in the house, and they're doing their thing, and it's just black and white, too loud. So the law is, well, I'm not sure what the law is down south, but I know in Queensland, they will come and tell you or whatever to say turn it down. That's if providing there's no dB meters installed. So I'm just asking you, what is the respectful way, that you would like the sound turned down, and how would you communicate it? Do you just talk to them in between the set, or do you walk up in the middle of a guitar solo and say, turn it down, or at the end of the song? I'm just asking because I guess it's a thing, because I know that some managers have come up to me, and my band may play loud with some bass players I have, and you can't really turn it down in the middle of the song. So just asking you, how do you address that?
I usually just throw something. No, it's
Is it a beer, mate? It's a half a keg.
No, it's a mutual thing. It goes back to that previous question. You'd obviously do it in between a song. If you could wait by the stage, like they're not going to break straight into the next song. You do have 5-10 seconds. Yep. Or if you want to have a bit more of a lengthy convo and you think the situation can wait, you wait until there's a break. It's only fair. Like it's creativity, right? You don't want to interrupt that and put them off and interrupt, and
Yeah. Okay. And Christy, how do you tell the band to turn down?
Just chuck something at them. No, I normally a lot of pubs I'm at they're pretty strict. Like Palm Beach is very strict on it just because the apartment's across the road. So I just let a lot of the musos bands know just beforehand, just so we didn't have to get into it later on or deal with the lady calling up and whatnot. But yeah, just friendly manner as soon as possible rather than later is always better.
Yep. Okay, cool. And you just let them know, say, hey, yep, cool, excellent. And it's not a big drama, right? It's just part of the nature. Yep.
No, it's not because you want it down. Don't get me wrong, blast the windows out. But yeah, it's one of those things.
With hip hop.
Time,
So, Alec,
time and place as well. You don't want it during the middle of your dinner service blasting the windows, but if it's a late night venue and everyone is there to party, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I think you said that rather well there, Jackson. Like for all the musos, is just if it's called a sit down gig, that's the first prep. How would I say? That's the first. I don't even know what the word is. Preference. That's what the customer's doing to eat. That's what priority number one is to eat. But when they're standing up, priority number two is the party, right? So then is when you come in. So and we get to Alex. How do you tell the band to shut up?
Something.
Pretty much the same. Throw those half kegs. No, we don't ever book our bands very late, especially. Our venue's right next to Carrick Park and a bit residential and everything, so we deliberately don't put our bands on that late into the night. If anyone knows our licensee and his wife, she doesn't like the music very loud, but as soon as she leaves, he turns around and tells them to turn it up a bit more. They have a bit of a battle against that, but yeah, most of the time we'll just go and speak to them and say, like, in between a song or a set, but just say, oh look, just turn it down a little bit, like it's just because of the crowd or the time it is and everything, not because we want you to turn it down, but just because that's what the situation's calling for, and that's all it is.
Yeah, right. And I've got, before I go to Brad and Deb, I've got an external Ben here. It says, definitely go to chat to staff and bar managers from the first break onwards. So I think that's a great tip as well. That's what I do. I always go and double check the first break. Check the volume, the mix, the genre, team sled for success night. I don't know what's going on there. Spell checker didn't work. Yeah. And relationship. So I guess the bottom line there, it's a people business, and I'm glad what Christy said before is that if she could have it her way, she would love it cranked. But there's laws that everyone has to play by. So going to
we have had some dramas with noise restrictions and the dB limits and all that kind of stuff. And how we have managed to combat those problems is we brought a wireless for my microphone. So when we have a venue manager and come out and be really heavy-handed in telling us to be quiet and turn it down, I'll run up the back with me wireless now and go, oh yeah, so what do you reckon? Is that all right? And they usually go, yeah, that's good. And I'm like, right, now you'll leave smoke the rest of the bloody night. And it works. It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good. Wireless is the best invention ever. So
and Brad?
Pretty rare. It's pretty rare.
I think Ben has a very good point. What Ben said was really, really professionally said. I'd just like to add to that and say, personally, I think you should go and introduce yourself to the manager as soon as you get there.
Yeah.
As soon as you get there, then you go and chat, check on your start time, make sure that the start time's still the same. It might have changed. And on any regulations or restrictions that might be in place in the past, you can find out then before you make a mistake. But really well said, Ben.
And I've got a point.
Get a wireless.
Okay, and I've got a point. I've got a point here. It says here, if you make the room less reverberant, the band can play as much louder. It's called the reverberant sound field. So, I guess being managers, do you guys actually? So, I'll come back to Deb in a sec. So, with you putting acts in your venues, do you actually think about the structural of the room? Like it's all reflective. So maybe Jackson, if you want to go first.
Ours is a little different. We have an outdoor beer garden with a large stage that was kind of purpose built for live music. So kind of a little bit.
Wes is a saxophone player and he wants to put a tea towel in his saxophone. That's funny. Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
Ours is just a little different. So we're quite sensitive to the neighbours and the community, so because it is outdoor. but probably not to the extent like what Alex is with the caravan parks proximity and the rest of it. So usually once dinner service is over, I let them go nuts. And to be honest, I'm not a professional in any way with sound, so I wasn't across the reverberance field or anything like that.
Okay, cool. And Christy, do you think about where you put the band, or is it just the same spot all the time?
No, absolutely. Like, you want to move them around, and you can, obviously, if it's a smaller room as well, you can't chuck a big like 5-piece band in a tiny little room. So then you only can do solos or duos in certain areas as well.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Oh, and Alex, do you think about where you put, or Ben, you have to send me a message, mate. Alex, do you think about where you put your bands?
Ben, don't wait to be invited.
Yeah, well,
Tell us
ours,
what to play.
yeah, ours is weather dependent mostly.
Oh,
like
show
we've
that,
got
show
2
that.
outdoor areas. We're big on Sunday sessions, so on a Sunday afternoon we have a big waterfront stage sort of thing, and that's for like the bigger bands. Unfortunately, if it rains, they kind of get pushed inside into our small little bar, and it's soundproof. We've got double glass windows and everything, so it's soundproof in there. It's just not very big, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then we've got a beer garden as well, and that's reserved for more like the duos and the solos and all that sort of stuff. So it does depend on who's playing. But yeah, unfortunately, ours is quite weather dependent, depending on like where they have to play or where we get to put them or who plays where everything's at.
Okay, cool. And then we've got one
Can't
more
always
point
be
here. The sound of ice clinking in glasses then made me miss the real venues even more. Oh, there you go. That's about you, Deb. Thank you for all the efforts.
No, it makes no difference.
Thank you all, and bring music to it. So let's talk about some horror stories. So maybe Brad and Deb, do you want to? Oh, here we go. Mark Christopher, how's the trumpet going? There we go. So muso horror story at a venue. Brad first.
Well, we have had a venue manager.
You have to be careful with this one.
Yeah. Back with the original the discussion we were having before, we have had a manager that's quite rude to us as far as volume levels go. Where he'll just come
Alex.
up and just yell in your face.
Yeah.
While you're playing,
Yeah, it was me. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, no, it wasn't Alex.
No, it wasn't Alex.
But what Jackson was saying before, you can't react like that as a venue manager. I don't think it brings the vibe down. It kills the band's energy.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be talked to or treated like that. And you're there to entertain, so you need to be on a high.
And like what
your
Doug,
vibe needs to be up.
And like what you said before, Doug, you can't just stop mid-song.
You can't. Yeah.
And change it. So you have to wait till you get to the end of the song. So this particular person will come out halfway through a song and start screaming at us, and won't stop screaming until the song is finished. Like it's that bad.
I like, Brad, how you just said about headspace. You know, the actual idea of a green room, because it's where you go when you're green before you step on stage. So I remember when I was on the Rob Thomas tour, and I've actually toured with some other dudes in the States, they actually have a no talk to the talent rule. So what that means is you can't go and talk to anyone in the band. Like they have an album. I know it sounds crazy, but I'll tell you why. But it's next level, right? Because they want the energy. So they're just chilling. They're in there. They need to find their flow, their state of flow, their little zen before they go and do their job. So that's why they have the green room. So no one's getting in under anyone's skin. Everyone chills out, and then you go and do your job. But horror story.
I've been in some green rooms where it's been nasty before it's even started.
All right, yeah, that's not a good headspace. So if we go to Alex, horror story with the band at a venue. Maybe it was at Tamworth at Lowe's. Yeah.
Yeah, those ones, they're pretty nasty.
Oh, God. Well,
I don't know if I have any. I think I've dealt with mostly pretty good people. I mean, we've had, and it's not even the bands themselves, it's kind of people that come up to me, like the crowd maybe, that comes up to me the first set and say, who booked these people, why are they here, sort of thing. And we had one semi-recently, and it was just a matter of nobody, I said I didn't book these people, and Brendan said he didn't book these people. We had people going, "Where, like, who booked this band?" They were just definitely, like, they weren't bad. They were just not suited to us at all. We don't know where they came from. I don't know how they were booked there in the first place. But we were going, this is not the Shawsy. This is not us. I don't know how this band got booked, but anyway, so we had like the crowd coming up to us after the first set saying, like, I don't understand, like, I don't want to sit here and listen to, you know, whatever music this is, unfortunately. And so we enjoyed the sets that they played, but I think we just kind of said to them, yeah, you know what, I don't think you're going to be coming back, not for any horrible reason, just because I don't think they were very suited to us. But it was just, I wouldn't say it's a horror story. It's just one of those awkward moments, and no one knew who actually booked the band. They just kind of they were booked in from whenever, and
so
I think between you and Brendan, Alex, you got a really good judge of character, and you don't put crap ones in there. Straight up.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain I know it wasn't me. So anyway, Brendan.
How do you, Alex?
He denies it fully, but.
So Alex, how do you give the band the DCM, like, don't come Monday? How do you tell the band? Because do you book them direct, or do you use an agent?
Well, it's between. No, we normally do it direct. I have dealt with a few agents before, but mostly it's just direct. And I know they came to speak to Brendan after the gig, and they just said, "Oh, how was it?" and everything. And he was the one that kind of said to them, like, "Oh, yeah, like, we're very happy with what you did. It's just we don't think you're very suited to our venue." And that's all it was. It wasn't a horror story. It was just an awkward little moment. But they were fine with it. They were happy. I think they understood, and it was all good.
And there we go. To be honest, Alex, it was a handsome tribute band. So, Christy, what's your horror story with music and venue?
Oh, I haven't had too many. I don't know who's out there listening to be able to say any of mine, actually. Come and think of it.
That's what we worry about.
It's not a horror one. It's a bit of a funny one, actually. One Sunday arvo, I started work a bit late, and I was like, oh, where's the muso on today? So I rang up, and I'm like, rang his agent, said, oh, where is he? He's there. And I'm like, looking around. I'm like, pretty sure there's no music on. He's like, no, he's there. He's at the pub down the road. So they just got a free gig down the road. Obviously, no one at this pub has said anything, so yeah.
Okay, so Jackson, horror story, music and venue.
I would say horror story, just kind of awkward. I had a DJ that we caught using Spotify. You could hear the beats between the songs.
Is that a no go? Is it? Because I'm not a DJ, I don't know. So, that's bad, right? Using Spotify. Do not use Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
they should be using
look, I'm not a
music,
muso, but they should be using.
You should be mixing your own. Yeah.
You could have got your son up there.
Yeah. So he got busted for that one, and he got not a don't come Monday, but we had a pretty strict convo, and he didn't get another gig after that. Like, we paid him for his services and his time that night, even though we were kind of dirty on it. But yeah, he didn't come back.
Oh, right.
We had another horror one. It was more funny, a bit like Christy's story. We had what was his name? What's the English performer that used to perform with I can't think of his name. Anyway, it was a covers, and he thought he was that guy, and he literally went to the pub next door during his break and didn't come back because he tuned chicks, and he took one home, and he just gave up on the gig.
Wow.
He did the song with Kylie Minogue, The Kids. What was that called?
Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams, yes. It was a Robbie Williams cover act. And so we had two pubs side by side. And he went into the other pub during his break and tuned a girl and just kind of said, nah, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah. Wow, that's hilarious. Well, may as well just go to funny stories. So, Alex, because Christy, did you have a funny story, a funnier story?
Funnier, jeez. No, not real funny. Nah, stick to just good music.
Well, I have a funny story. I was playing in Memphis. I can't remember the name of the bar, and they were giving me something called what's that cinnamon whiskey called?
Fireball.
Fireball. And I
Devil
wasn't.
juice.
Yeah, I
Everyone
wasn't.
knew.
I wasn't quite across, the whiplash effect. Anyway, I was playing on stage and they said, "Yeah, we're going to keep the Aussie right till last." I didn't know this. I thought I would get up first, so they kept giving me these Fireball things. Anyway, I got up. Last song, the guy gives me his guitar, and it's worth a lot of money. And I see this crowd barrier right around the front of the stage. I was like, "Yeah, I'll be set, man. It can't be that hard." So I played guitar behind my head and stood on the barrier. And as I've started playing, I've fallen backwards into the crowd. The whole place erupted. They were like, "Oh my God, you're crazy. You're like crowd surfing on your back and you're playing behind your head." I thought this was going to be very expensive. I thought I was going to die. And I was like, as I'm falling back, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be expensive." Anyway, the crowd caught me. So I started surfing on my back. And I was like, "Oh no, how am I going to get back on the stage?" And because you don't plan these things. And the song kept going. It felt like forever. I kept playing. All of a sudden, the crowd surged and threw me onto the stage. I was like, "Oh!" And then the next minute, I was on the stage. So I guess that taught me a good lesson: is don't drink Fireball. And the other lesson was it was so funny because everyone thought it was well executed and planned. I was scared out of my wits because I thought it was going to be very expensive and break other people's instruments, but they loved it. Yeah, they loved it. So going to Alex, then we'll go to Brad and Deb. So funny story.
Oh God, no.
Oh, Rock. Yes, thanks, Marsh.
Oh, we had a great duo that everyone thought was hilarious. I don't know if they intended to be hilarious, but everyone had a good laugh. They're called King Country, and that was another one of those moments where they just definitely weren't suited to the venue, but everyone had a good laugh anyway. So they're called King and Country, and it was a duo. One of them plays country music, and the other is an Elvis impersonator. And couldn't tell you who booked them. We don't know where they came from again, unfortunately. But yeah, everyone had a bit of a laugh that night. They came in. Normally, people come in, an hour or two before to set up their go. But
Thanks, Tobias.
these people came in at 12 o'clock at lunchtime to set up for a 7 o'clock gig.
Wow,
so
7 hours.
Getting all their gear. Yeah, they started. I think the guy, even half dressed up, got into his Elvis costume. So it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're setting up in our beer garden. And all the locals are sitting here watching this Elvis impersonator practice his music in the beer garden at lunchtime. And we're all sitting here going, "Who booked these people? We have no idea where they came from." It was a good laugh. They didn't come back Monday, but everyone had a bit of a good time.
Okay, so maybe to Brad or Deb. Let's go Deb first. Funniest story doing a gig.
I reckon it would have to be the funniest one. Oh, geez. Other than the night that everyone kept dropping their pants, what about that night at Beenleigh when a fight broke out? It was pretty nasty, and there was barstools flying around the room, everyone bashing each other, and a poor barmaid got glassed and in the boob places. Oh. And so Brad and I busted out love songs, and we played 3 love songs in a row, but it just got nastier. It wasn't working. So at the end of the 3rd love song, when there were 14 cops inside the room, we went, "All right, that's it. We're done." That's another topic. God, the fights that we've seen. One night we were at a venue, I won't say where, and the manager of the pub with a bar stool was chasing men up the street, like 20 men in suits up the street with a bar stool, telling them to get out of her effing pub.
It wasn't Jackson, was it?
No. On the Gold Coast, and it's crazy. It was I'll say it was on the beach. Okay, so there you go. It was a bit of a funniest thing that ever happened. And then we packed up and we got out of there because we were 5 minutes out from finishing, and we'd done the bolt to the other side of town over to Burleigh to see Michael Jeeves actually playing in his band over there, Venus Envy. They're a really good band, and so we went over there to catch them, and within 5 minutes of being there, another fight broke out and everyone was being glassed again. So we snuck away slowly.
It was a full moon. Was full
It
moon.
was a full moon.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's a real thing. Full moon's a real thing.
And Brad,
Yeah,
what's your
like,
funniest
I mean,
moment? Oh, sorry, Deb.
I think.
That's okay.
You were referring to the guys that
Well, yeah.
the West Towers are all dropping their pants.
Everyone drops their pants
Everyone
these
does
days.
drop
Have you
their
noticed
pants
that?
these days. But the guys like to get their bums
It used
out.
to, it
for some
used,
reason.
it used
I'm
to
not
be
sure.
getting boobs out.
You
Now
weren't
it's
playing
everything
Eagle
else.
Rock, were you?
Yeah. Nah. But
No,
that might
they
as well
decided
have
they
been.
wanted their bums. No, I think the funniest thing that's happened to me, I was fronting a band this is way back in the 90s, and doing the whole headbanging thing. I didn't play guitar back then. I was just the front man. So I'm swinging away next to the bass player and getting into it and headbanging. And I had long hair like I do now.
To his bum.
And it got wrapped around the guitarist's headstock, around the bass guitarist's headstock. So he's playing away. I'm going like this, and then my hair's stuck to his guitar. So he's still going like this, and my head's going like this with him. And that was pretty funny. It actually made the paper, the local paper the next week.
Actually, I did a duo with a guy, and he was singing. I was playing guitar, and you guys have probably all seen this. The punter grabs the microphone, and he hasn't had that many gigs under his belt yet, and he grabbed the microphone to let people sing into it. And first rule being a front man is never surrender your tools for your job. So he's done this, and then the guys just grab the mic to pull it down to sing it, and he's like fighting it back. And as the guys let go, he's like smashed himself in the mouth and broke his tooth.
Ouch.
And I couldn't stop laughing. It was very, very bad. He had to go to dentist surgery.
I used to wear a lot of heavy duty things around my neck. These days, I just wear my baby tooth, right? It's actually a 10-foot tiger shark, but I'm sick of people asking me, what is it? So if they ask me, baby tooth. Anyway, but I had a couple of headbanging moments where I nearly knocked my teeth out, so I stopped wearing that shit. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So, we've just lost him. So maybe his phones just went flat. Here's a question do venues expect things to bounce back like it was with a big bang quickly, or are you expecting a slow comeback? So maybe, Christy, do you want to go first, Christy?
Well, obviously, I know everyone's that keen to get out there. It's going to be chaos, but I think we're still going to have to limit it to how many people per room. Still go with the social distancing slowly and get back into it.
And Jackson, what do you think of that? Do venues expect to bounce back, or do you think with a big bang, or do you think it'll be slow?
I see it as a bit of a U-shaped curve. Like we kind of got eased into a shutdown. There was obviously restrictions starting, so we knew that it wasn't like a Band-Aid getting ripped off. I see it as that as well. So kind of like what Christy said, there'll be restrictions, and the good venues will survive. And I'm already hearing of some venues that are for sale now. So
wow,
the good ones will make it, and the ones that plan and don't just sit on their hunches here waiting. So that's another thing. Like what Deb and Brad has done is made ample use of this time instead of treating it as a booze holiday. So I think that's like what a lot of people are.
And Alex, do you expect venues to bounce back quickly or slowly?
Yeah, well, it depends on what the restrictions are. Like they'll open us back up at some point, and there will be restrictions in place. If there wasn't restrictions, like say we shut down for completely, like the whole country shuts down for 3 weeks and then go back to normal, maybe, probably not. But if that happened, I think it would be a massive boom. Unfortunately, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're gonna slowly introduce, like start opening up. I think pubs will be the last ones to open. They might start opening up cafes, restaurants again, maybe have their restrictions, and then pubs will be the last ones to come back. And yeah, we're going to have to do, keep a tally of how many people are in there, making sure that everyone stays apart and maybe only having dinner for 45 minutes or an hour, or, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I reckon we'll have to go back and do it slowly.
Do you think, so if we go to Christy again for a second, how did you guys find out? Did you get a memo from the government, or was it local council, or how did you guys find out? Because I'm just asking about not only the message, but how did you find out about the restrictions got quite, serious, very, very, it escalated quickly. That's the term I'm looking for. So
yeah,
how
it did. Towards the end, it got real serious. I think it was on the Saturday. Because we know what's our limit per room as well, so we just broke that down and put signs up everywhere at the front of the restaurant. You know, you sports bar, your gaming room, and just minimise the amount of people that can go in there and that did go in there, and then discounts. You know, yeah, it was full on. But we got told from just our bosses through and word of mouth, the government. I mean, there was news everywhere. Like,
Yep.
Can
Okay.
I just jump in here for a second, Doug, if that's okay? Somebody just asked me a question on the Pub with No Fear,
Yeah.
and I thought it was really valid. I want to bring it up. She's asking, she's an originals guitarist or artist, and she's asking if we take a percentage from everyone's PayPal donations. And it is absolutely not. No way. You supply your own PayPal account, and if anyone tips you, you get all the money. We get nothing. We are just doing this to help people out, and it's helping us out as well at the same time. It's helping you guys out so you can filter through different acts, so you can have a better idea of who you're going to go with at the end of all of this. You know, I think that's basically that's our goal, is that we want everyone to have a really informed idea of who everyone is. New acts, old acts, whatever, the whole lot. And there's no way in the world we would take a cent for it. If people want to donate to us, that would be great. But we're not asking for it. Don't want your money. Simple as that.
And Brad, do you want to add something to that?
Please fill my head space.
I think what this will do for all the venues out there, the group that we're running and people that are coming on and performing on it, it's giving them an opportunity as well as us to raise our profile when we come back. And I think there'll be more people coming out to our gigs than there was before, because now we've got a whole new audience that's seen us that hasn't had the opportunity to see us because they might not be local or whatever. They might be at the Gold Coast. They might think, oh, wow, I'm going to drive to Melbourne and see these guys. So I think we're going to raise our audience. The audience will actually go up at the end of all this.
So I just noticed the time, and I'll just have 2 more questions and 2 more rounds, if everyone's cool with that. We'll wrap it up in about 10 minutes. So,
oh my God.
And so Christy, what's a positive that can come out of what's happening for both the venues and the musicians?
Well, hopefully people appreciate things a bit more when we're all back to normal, you know, like, and treat people differently, and, you know, appreciate what we do have out there and how good we actually really do have it, rather than negative, and how you treat people when you go to the pub, you know, thank you, or just be nice to just everybody.
Yeah.
Well said.
And is there something you want to see more of?
Just like the friendly banter at the pub, you know, like old school how it used to be when you used to go, you know, and everyone's socialising and not, you know, which I think that's going to be more people socialising because they've gone without for so long that, you know, then sitting there with a beer, they'll be, oh, g'day, mate, how are you?
Yeah. And Jackson, what's a good thing that can come out of this lockdown?
I'll relate it a bit personally. What I've done and what my guys have been doing, we've taken advantage of the free education that's available. So a lot of the guys have been taking up TAFE courses. We've had one young kid go and do his advanced licensee, which was all funded by the government due to COVID-19. So that's just more of a personal thing. But kind of what Christy said, like, there will be a bull rush to the gate. Like, it'll probably be a national holiday the day the pub's open. But don't take it for granted. Don't take your musos for granted. That they are up there putting their heart and soul into it, and now you cry once they're gone.
No.
Show some more appreciation and the rest of it when they're up on stage and the rest of it. Right. It's just my trying to put a positive spin on it, I guess.
Right. So you think that, you know, when they do get the live music back, they might look after it, not take it for granted that's going to be there all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And support it a lot more.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And Alex, a good thing that's come out of this?
Yeah, I think people are going to come back to their local venues, and people that maybe didn't used to come as often are going to come back because they haven't been able to go out as much. you're going to get more traffic and everything. But I think the biggest thing is you're going to appreciate the musos. I think people are have already started looking to local businesses and supporting them. So they're going to be more likely to come back to your local, like privately owned sort of pubs and venues or cafes or whatever other businesses. Like the same thing happened with the bushfires. People started focusing on buying local and supporting local. So I think they're more likely to come to the venues that are privately owned as opposed to going to one that's owned by Woolies down the road.
Couldn't
Yeah,
agree more.
wow.
That's the biggest thing.
Great, solid point.
People are starting to support each other.
Yeah, I like what you said there, because I think decentralization, I think it's called, supporting everything at its grassroots level. What did you want to say there, Deb? Oh, that's for Jackson.
Thank you.
What were you going to say, Deb?
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with Alex. I think what she said was spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that goes for even, some friends of mine in other industries like welding. They're running out of welding rods because they're made in China and they haven't been shipping them over. So is that going to have a restriction on construction industry, or is it, I don't know, is it going to get resolved in 12 weeks? Who knows? But I'm just saying now they're being mindful of, any work they're doing because they don't want to run out of supplies, so... But
it's making everyone turn to Australian made though more than ever, isn't it? Because what's loyalty in it.
Thanks, Veronica. Yeah, I've got to set up my PayPal. I haven't really done that. So last question. We're going around the table. Thank you all. I just want to say thank you for your time. And if you are open to it, I'd love to have you on again. And it's been really, really interactive with all the questioning that's going on. So last question. So maybe with the virtual pub first, Debbie, what's some advice you can give musicians to make sure they can be well prepped to hit the road running after this?
Have your EPK ready. Have everything ticked off. There's a few simple steps. That's all it takes to make sure you've got the right presentation, and have that. Make sure you've got some sort of evidence on your Facebook page. Things that you're doing, like performances or whatever. So you've got that. You can prove that's what you've done. You haven't just locked yourself up in the house for 3 months and sucked on your thumb and cried in the corner. You've actually been, getting into it, getting your shit sorted out, and yeah. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, I think you said it really well, but maintaining your presence and practice. Yeah, exactly, Jackson. We get, even though we've been doing it a long time, we still get rusty. I can remember back in the earlier days, just having 1 week off band practice with Young was thinking we'd be rusty. I don't know if you do the same, but yeah, definitely keep in practice, but maintain your presence. If you disappeared at the start and you go and front up at a venue when everything's great again, and say, hey, I want to play again, who are they going to take?
Yeah, there's a couple of
not someone that's just sat on their ass and done nothing. And maintain your profile, keep in touch with your fan base. Keep everything moving. Keep posting stuff on your Facebook pages.
Yeah.
Keep people interested so that when you come back, you're still at the same level you were when you went out, or better. Because I think there'll be a lot of people.
There's a few people out there who are resisting my invitations to play on the Pub with No Fear, and I think that is a bad thing because they're it's all raw for all of us. We would like to edit our videos as well and make sure that everyone only gets some bits and pieces that are good. But the reality is, if you go on live, that's what we are when we do a gig anyway. Is we're live. And we put some of the dumbest jokes and make each other laugh all the way through it. Why not do that live on a video? You might as well continue it. But there are some people resisting that, and I think that's going to come against them eventually in the end. But that's just my opinion.
I just want to say, I think that, with recording music back in the day, they would record it at home, at the studio, and then they would edit it till it's a good mix, right? But live music is you have to do it in one take. But now with video, live video is a completely different ball game, right? You don't get any time to edit it or sort it out.
No.
But yeah, it's definitely picking up. Like I know for me, I've even starting this whole project, doing these chats, I'm only doing it because I care. Like I haven't made a cent out of it. And I've spent hundreds of hours putting shows together and communicating with new people like you guys and just making it tick. Because I really love it. Thanks, mate. But so please like, and actually I should actually say this is my thing. I've spent all this time typing it in. I haven't even used it yet. So there's my YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe and all this kind of stuff. That's my TV show, Make Some Noise with Doug DeJong. That's my actual TV show. But anyway, I'll come back to that. Alex, some positive, well, just, what advice, parting, last question, would you tell musicians to maybe keep in mind?
Oh, well, it goes for everybody. I think in this situation is kind of what Brad and Deb were saying. Just utilize your time, and what Jackson was saying, like, don't sit on your thumbs and wait for it all to be over. Like, you can be utilizing the time, prepare for when it is going to come back to normal, and support other people too. Like, musos can be practicing. You can be interacting with your fan base, and venue managers or venues you might not be working sort of thing. We're not trading at the moment, but I know I still spend time with Brendan and some other staff, just like dealing with what's happening now, but also preparing for what's going to happen eventually. So we're not sitting on our thumbs waiting for it to be over. You just do what you can and utilize your time. Like, you've got a lot of free time now, so use it. Don't just treat it as a piss up sort of thing. You've actually got to do something with it. So
I really like that.
We're always begging for more time, but when we actually get it, it's a good story.
Yeah, I really like that. And Christy, any last comment for musos? How are they going to be rock stars?
Just come see me. No, I would say, guys, be prepared that week when we do open. We're not going to be prepared because it's just going to be one of those things that we just get that bit of notice. So, we're going to forget about all the musos we have. We're not going to be prepared as far as we've booked them all in advance, So don't let them forget about you. Make sure you pop your face into all those pubs that you used to go to. Just give them a reminder and just be keen and eager to bounce in there. Don't forget your spare strings either.
and with before Jackson closes it out, I just want to say, Jackson, I really like and just acknowledge what you said before is about training your staff in the downtime in business, man. That so forward thinking, investing in the human factor. So I really respect that. So, but your last comment on keeping it real for musos. What can you advise musos? Oh, don't forget, Christy, I played for your birthday. Oh, there you go. That's Carl.
I'm a publican. I wouldn't have advice for musos. I reckon just get in, have a red hot crack, and show us the Aussie way and the Aussie spirit, and just be open to challenges, because it's going to be challenging for everyone, right? Like, yes, it'll be a really busy couple of weeks, but there is going to be a downturn in this where I see money will become a problem again and things like that. So when you do get a chance to see musos, be appreciative, and also for the musos to be appreciative to the venues that they mightn't have the budgets that they had 6 months ago, 3 months ago when this all went down. Bear with us. We do love you. You're a cornerstone to us, but it's the same with the food suppliers, the beer suppliers. We're all trying to, tune it finally and work off a dime instead of a dollar.
That's well said, man. Yeah. And I really like what you... Sorry, you go.
No, that's about it, really.
But I really like what you said there. Where, if I'm going to say journey, we're all in this together. But you have to wait. The suppliers, have to be able to employ the people to increase their output as well. But of course, the suppliers would have slowed down the output because there's no demand. And so when demand comes, then it's going to be hard. So it's going to be, like a train taking off. The other one's going to take a little while to catch up. Secondary, yeah. So I think that's really well.
Just the patience will be key, I think, for everyone. And I think the Australian way, and what I've seen so far in the Ballina and Rivers community, I don't think we'll see dickheads out there blowing up. I think it'll be banding together and people will be patient from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, and especially with platforms like this and actually getting to hear from the people who run the business, thank you. This is amazing. And I've
No, it's
got
been
one
great.
more.
I'd love to come back and maybe do a rerun in 3-4 months once we open and say, hey,
No,
what's
well,
everyone
Yeah.
doing?
no,
Do it.
thank
Love
you,
this.
Debbie and Brad, for hooking this up. And yeah, I'd love to have you all back on because great, fantastic. And I've just got this one thing here. If this is relevant, all the musicians who don't have any gigs as soon as their venues open should still go out. Yes, good idea. Support other musos and the
Absolutely.
venues themselves. Don't just stay at home waiting for the gigs to roll back. Thank you, Rory.
That's
Very, very
right.
well said.
I think that everyone's going to be busting for a really good night out, so we should be all right in the interim.
Yes,
Should
that's
have a
exactly
pub with
right.
no fear closing
Yes.
party when the pub's open.
Yes, yes. Well, I just want to, if all the guests can please stay on the line for 10 seconds while I bounce you out. So thank you, everyone. Wave. There we go.
Bye.
And we have a 100% Jackson switched on. Hope to work with you soon. Excellent. So please stay on the line for a sec. And don't pick your nose. Come on. So thank you very much. Please like and subscribe on Doug DeJong Music. Doug DeJong Music. That's my Facebook page. And also youtube.com / Doug DeJong. I need some subscribers. I actually really need subscribers. I want to get 1,000 and I need some more. So please stay tuned. I've got some awesome other chats coming up, but this is sensational today. So thanks for watching. See you next time.